Well, I think part of what you both are hinting at is, despite both these things doing it, comics do it more, and comics want to do it the way the other thing does, which is comics are not shonen, and shonen's the best and almost only place where you can get here are two characters purely in a ring that want to fight each other and have no goal except fighting each other. And everything is driven on creating an action scene as the conflict. Whereas in comics and most Western things in general, fights have to have some sort of goal orientation. So if Namor is fighting the Thing in a Marvel comic and the outcomes are inconsistent depending on the story, it's because of the story. It's because the action scene has to serve whatever goal is being set for it.
And they got a name for that in the fan communities. That's plot armor, right?
Yeah, exactly. So when we try to make that transition, say, okay, here's just Namor, and here's just the Thing, and they're just gonna beat the crap out of each other, it's not a thing we would ever actually see in a comic book setting, and we would see it in a shonen setting. But we don't have any way to like consistently apply the rules to both characters, or even like dredge out what the maximum capabilities of either one of them would be in that perfect scenario, because it just doesn't exist. Like, what is Batman just purely fighting for the sake of fighting? That's not really a Batman thing.
It really isn't. And then there's like,
and
just
the biggest problem with Batman I've always had is he claims to be a master of all the martial arts, but he's never like taken mentally into account what martial arts do for you as a person. So if you just threw Batman into a ring and said, okay, beat the shit out of a person, I don't think he could actually do it.
So I don't know a ton about Cable, except for what I guess everybody knows about Cable. He's from the future, he's Scott Summers' kid, and he's Deadpool's best friend. He has a robot arm.
Yep.
Okay, what the fuck's his mutant power?
Telekinesis, but he hardly ever uses it because when he was a baby, Apocalypse infected him with the techno-organic virus, which is that's what his arm is. His arm got turned into a robot arm, and so he uses his telekinesis to keep the virus from consuming his whole body. So that's the justification for why he has like 8 billion guns, because he doesn't use his mutant powers, he's just using guns to fight bad guys.
I love comic books because that is the most convoluted ass shit in the world.
I could hear you rolling your eyes just then. Yeah.
I just, like, we've talked about this, I think, every time that we talk X-Men, where it's just, I'm a comic book guy, and I will sit here and go, no, you shouldn't be intimidated by continuity, it's not that big a deal, just sit down and read something and you'll get it, you'll be fine. But Christ fucking X-Men, I swear to God, it's so much shit. And so that's just everything you just said there is so, like, what the fuck? What was your impression of the fan film?
I was impressed of how ambitious this was. They really did sincerely try to do a animated prequel, and it's very obvious to me, like, how much loving attention that was put into this, and a real severe attempt to like fill in some backstory into the universe, and as well as the style of the film. But I'll be straight with you, I was rather bored by this.
Okay. Well, like, okay, so the thing I find interesting about you saying you're bored is I know you. You don't like fictional politics and stuff that much, do you?
No. I'm not against it, but every attempt I've seen of it is kind of puts me to sleep. Like, you know, the famous scenes in the prequels of Star Wars, and all this.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, no, that's fair. Because, like, I mean, to be fair, what it is then is it's matching the tone of the show quite well, because Game of Thrones as a show is very much more about, like, medieval feudal society politics, where, like, oh, this person's loyal to this house and stuff. Like, the dragons and the war shit, that doesn't come up until, like, season 4. So it's a slow burn.
Oh, man. You know, I'm sorry. It's like, they're obviously doing a great job because it has such like a huge fandom and it's such a success, and it's been HBO's #1 show for a while. But oh boy, season 4 is when you bring in the dragons. That's a rough ride for me.
Not quite. I'm being a little disingenuous, but
okay. Well, still, I mean, good lord.
Let me say this.
It's like okay, you got these guys in like armor and capes and the swords and the cool ass dragons, and then they essentially do medieval zoning.
Yes, exactly that. Precisely that. It's kind of amazing.
I believe Gonthor has the floor. You have 3 minutes, Gonthor. I want to read to you